Did you ever have a job that you hated and worked real hard at? A long, hard day of work. Finally you get to go home, get in bed, close your eyes, and immediately you wake up and realize that the whole day at work had been a dream. It's bad enough that you sell your waking life for minimum wage, but now they get your dreams for free. Dreaming is quite possibly the weirdest experience the majority of people will have in their lifetimes. You could have the most boring life in the world and get in bed at night, and suddenly you're surfing down a volcano, or you're back in the Wild West, or you're in a completely white room and you summon an infinite amount of Hillary Duffs. You might not remember your dream from last night, but I can almost guarantee that while you were asleep something totally bonkers was happening in your mind. And more importantly, that during your dream you were convinced that what you were experiencing was just as real and just as genuine as the life you're living right now. I find it so crazy that this stuff happens to us every night, and because it's so easily forgotten and so easily dismissed as just your brain cataloguing the day's events, that we almost act as if it didn't happen. I think because dreams are so personal and the people within them are all created by our subconscious, it's such a difficult thing to give any meaning to after you wake up, because there wasn't anyone else there to understand or share in the experience. But I've had many life-altering experiences while awake that no one else was around for, and that fact doesn't mean that they didn't happen to me or that I just dismissed them as nothing. Have you ever had a dream that felt so real that when you woke up you felt the world you'd suddenly entered could be the false one? I had a dream that was so emotionally powerful that started my fascination with them, and I'll never forget it. I was like 13 or 14 at the time, and I died saving someone I knew, and instead of waking up when I died, I went back in time. In the past, everyone knew what was going to happen to me, and as the people closest to me tried to convince me that there was another way without sacrificing myself, I knew that I had to go through with it because it was my fate. I know it's going to sound stupid to anyone watching this, but that dream really did feel like a reality to me. The weight of knowing that I was destined to die and live in the time loop was so heartbreaking that I couldn't stop thinking about it after I woke up. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's the same feeling more than 10 years later, but at the time, it was as real as anything else I'd ever done.
I don't know, man. I just had the #1 wildest dream.
I still carry around the memory of that dream today, along with memories of things that have happened in the real world. Is Harry's nightly dream in Disco Elysium any less gut-wrenching for happening to him while he's asleep? Dreaming really is a mess most of the time. Sometimes you're at an awesome party, sometimes you and your friends are being hunted one by one by the xenomorph in an abandoned graveyard, and sometimes you're falling through an endless void, quite often all in the same dream. They can be amazingly fun or absolutely genuinely horrifyingly traumatic, or extremely enlightening, and every night you roll the dice without a clue on what you're going to get. I think this dice roll is another reason people tend to discount them. When they make no sense, or they're kind of horrible, you're much more likely to want to write them off as a pointless hallucination to be immediately forgotten. I've got hundreds, if not thousands of notes I've saved of dreams I've had, and looking back through them makes me feel like I've lived 10 times the life I actually have. I've been to weird cities and alien planets and had lightsaber fights, and experienced nuclear bombs and physics-defying elevators, and had crazy superpowers. Each one is an echo of some fantastical story from a book or a game or a film, and at the same time a fresh, intense experience worthy of its own memory. I mean, it's basically just like being the main character. The holy grail of any dreamer is lucid dreaming. In the hands of an experienced dreamer, to lucid dream is to become God, achieved by realizing you're in a dream and having full conscious control over your actions while you're asleep. It allows you to exert any influence over the dream world that you wish. In my first lucid dream, I was in a completely white room, and I made a chair appear with my mind just to sit down and take it all in. In later dreams, I did the classic lucid dream goal and learned to fly like the kids from Chronicle, or a less Boy Scout Superman, and it was fucking amazing. It was in a dream, but when you feel the power flowing through you as the world rushes past, It's a trip like nothing you could ever get outside of a dream. Looking back, it almost does seem like nothing, but when you're right there doing the flying yourself, it's so overwhelmingly good that you'll never forget it to the day you die. It's not like the hazy memory of a normal dream. When you're lucid, you feel wide awake. One thing I did learn from lucid dreaming is that being God fucking sucks. When you realize that everyone else is just a part of your subconscious and treat them like objects which you can make appear or crumble to ash at the slightest thought. When you can build impossible architecture from the ground itself, or raise entire cities with the blink of an eye, the world loses its stakes. As much as it's a lot of fun at first, you quickly realize that you're alone in this world, and that nothing that ever happens there will be a surprise to you if you're the one doing it. When you become God, you realize that everything around you is just more of you, and you can never escape from yourself. I haven't tried to lucid dream in a while, but I still have amazingly profound experiences now and then. A lot of the time much more profound and exciting than they could be if I was flying around and had to bring everything I wanted to happen into being myself. Dreams are still a big part of my life, and it's almost like I've been drawn to them in the media I love most. Bloodborne is my favourite game for so many reasons, and yet it just so happens that one of the major themes of the game is dreaming. Are dreams a reality of their own? Is anything that happens inside Yharnam real? When I die, I wake up again as if it was all a dream, yet certain things don't change. I've something of an interest in nightmares, and so I ponder whether the hunter's dream and the hunter's nightmare are actually physical locations that exist in alternate dimensions, or do they just exist within my own head? When I wake up, do I forget all the things that happened on the night of a hunt, like I do when I dream in real life? In a similar vein, Waking Life is one of my favourite ever films, and it tackles the problems of dreaming, life after death, and what it is to be a dreamer head on, along with so many other interesting topics.
The idea is to remain in a state of constant departure while always arriving. It saves on introductions and goodbyes.
So many great stories show how blurred the line is between reality and dreams, and how when you're dreaming it can be as real as waking life. Paprika, The Matrix, and as much as I hated its flawed logic of dream death, Inception, all deal with this idea that dreams are more than they seem. Or maybe it's that reality is less than we make it out to be. Inception and Disco Elysium both have the imagery of being haunted by people you loved, who have now completely gone from your life within your dreams, and there's something about that that's just so heartbreaking. I like to think of dreams like a Rorschach test, and that is to say your interpretation of the things that happen in your dreams are more important than the actual events themselves. It's the only time we can ever get a window into our own subconscious and experience what it's like to live entirely within ourselves, and I don't think that's an opportunity to pass up on. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that dreams are fucking awesome. A lot of people discount them as just the brain doing a hardware scan in the night, but the reality is that dreams are real experiences. It's just that they're hallucinations which are extremely personal, and can't ever be shared with or properly understood by anyone else. They can bring amazing moments of joy or be scarier than any horror film ever made, or bring profound moments of realization that can bring the dreamer to tears. Being hallucinations doesn't make them any less profound or meaningful to the person that dreamt them. They are all your subconscious. Just because you fall in love with someone in a dream doesn't make it so you love the same person in real life. The waking life person won't even know what you're talking about, but knowing they're your subconscious can make it so you can use them to learn so much more about yourself and how you view the world through the lens of the people you encounter while dreaming. Plus, they can be a lot of fun. When you're dreaming, you often think it's reality, and we could all be dreaming right now. Maybe I don't even exist, and I'm just part of your dream, or we could both be people in a person's dream we've never met before. You could be asleep right now and not even know it. All you have to do is wake up. Thank you to Richard Linklater for opening my eyes. Thank you to the Plain Doll for looking after me in my dreams. And thank you for watching. Peace.
You have the whole night to dream. make the best of it.